We are Archangel Michael, and we step forward on behalf of this collective, and we're pleased with this question. Know, dear one, that the world is indeed changing. You can think of this as a polarity that is split in between light and dark, between negative and positive. We do not judge these as good or bad in human terms, but we do judge them as a split in levels of consciousness, an experience of unawareness, an experience of increasing awareness of God consciousness, and a forgetfulness of our true nature. For from our point of view, it is impossible to be disconnected from God, for you are God. That is all that there is. But there is a deep ignorance in the human race. There's a deep ignorance in the physical worlds, a separation because of the nature of limitation, the nature of free will, and the nature of the veil itself, which has been put in place to give you a unique experience of being like God, to experience your creations without the knowing or the baggage of all your past lives. Your soul remembers every experience it has ever had. It has stored every piece of knowledge it has ever gained. It has learned every lesson and retained the learning. Now, when you are in ignorance, born upon a physical planet in a limited experience, regardless of these very large, very real feeling limitations, the soul has retained all of its lifetimes of value. So why the mental body and the emotional body have not retained this information, the divine mind in your soul has. So as you begin to act in the world, it is a type of school. You are being stimulated, you are being challenged. There are many obstacles in your way to experience your desires. But the soul's natural level of learning can perform anyways. And that is where Earth is, that is where the human collective is. You are all here experiencing your level of current growth. And you are being trained unknowingly by masters who are embodied among you. And you, unknowingly, are training many others who are brand new souls upon the earth plane, who do not have much experience with the physical. And why they are great spirits, they do not have idea, definition of who they truly are. This is what you have come to learn on earth. Who are you? Why are you here? What do you want? What is it like to experience getting what you want? What is it like experiencing when you do not get what you want? This is the human condition. This is the state that we are in. Now, at this moment in time, many, many, many beings have incarnated over and over and over on the earth plane, learning many lessons. But the earth plane has been slow in growth. There has been much artificial suppression of consciousness to keep humanity enslaved in a way, mentally and at times physically upon the earth plane, to empower the few at the expense of the many. This pyramid of power that has been artificially placed upon the earth plane has kept humanity from evolving at the rate which we know it could evolve from this perspective. At this moment in time, the earth has decided to shift her knowing, to move to a higher frequency. And each and every one of you, whether you realize it or not, are part of the earth. When the earth says jump, you say how high. This is exactly how it works. The earth is in charge of the consciousness of humanity, and humanity will follow in lockstep with earth's changes in consciousnesses. For it is the collective consciousness of earth that gives earth her consciousness, but also earth's desire that gives the collective consciousness its marching orders, its desires as well. It is a symbiotic relationship. At this moment in time, because of Earth's decision to raise her frequency to the next octave, all of Earth will transition into a new energy, into a new awareness, into a more loving state. It is vital for this to happen for Earth to preserve herself, to ascend successfully, to be around for millions more years in a healthy state. Now, those upon the earth consciousness who are unaware of this do not need to be aware of this to ascend, to raise their frequency. All they must do is to be loving, to understand the lessons of love, compassion, forgiveness. And there will be many upon the earth plane who are stuck in old energy, the old way of doing things, and who will get pulled further into this energy of separation, negativity, fear, destruction, and decay. they will continue to go down this path, being pulled further and further into it. For as they believe the stories of this world, they will be pulled further into them. And these people, over the next 10 years, will not continue to exist in human form. Now, while we say this, we do not wish to cause fear, for these people will move to the next stage of their growth in an environment that is appropriate for their growth. They will continue to live and grow until they are ready to love, until they are ready to ascend on an individual level. And this will happen. From our perspective, we see creation as a breath out of God, and we see the ascension as a return back to God. It happens very quickly, and every soul is put out to experience self and pulled in to experience unity. And the earth plane is doing this at a time in mass, and you are the generation that is experiencing the pivot point to this breath in. And this is beautiful, it is divine, and it is as planned by the divine mind. So when we say this question, when we answer this question, we wish to preface it with a base, a way to look at these things. So what we see when we look forward is we see an expansion of the energy of separation. We see an expansion of the energy of fear. And at the very same time, we see an expansion of love and of unity and of consciousness. Both of these will be growing at the same time. They will be pulling each other apart. They will be pulling the human race apart. And this is as designed, for each idea is to be experienced, each desire within the heart is to be manifested at this moment in time. It is a speeding up of the decision to ascend, to grow. And humanity has decided to do this. So what you will see in the coming years is a revealing of all that is hidden in the hearts of humanity. You can think of this as the energy of revelations, where the truth begins to come out not only about current events such as the viruses and wars, vaccines, and other calamities which are upon the earth plane, but also about the human story. About the human story throughout time, about our true history will begin to come out more clearly. What has been hidden about our brothers and sisters in the stars and in the angelic realms will become more known. All of the truths will begin to come to humanity, not to all, but to those who are looking. And this will begin to grow the consciousness quickly. It will begin to cause some to go into fear, and for many to walk in the light and to search for love. There will be much understanding in the coming years, much discovery in the coming years. And we say this in the next 3 years will be the majority of this energy of discovery, of truth. What you consider conspiracies today will be the truths of tomorrow. And then this will ripple across the collective consciousness at mass. Many great pains will have to be revealed to the public. We will have to see the great disappointments in our life up close and within society. These will need to be addressed, experienced, understood, and then a decision must be made to forgive, to love, to accept, or to double down in fear and to cower. All of this will come in the coming years. As we look further out, you will see in a world where many of these souls who have decided they do not want to continue this journey, who are not ready for the next level of human consciousness, will begin to leave the earth plane in mass. They will leave in many different ways, but they will leave. And this will accelerate. And all of this will lead to a moment before 2030 is what we currently see at this moment in time. It can shift, but this is what is seen. A moment of a removal of the veil, where humanity will be in a very different state of energy, that those who were in very low consciousness within the collective consciousness are no longer here, and the entire collective consciousness shifts. There will be many new leaders, many of you who are here are among them, who will assist humanity in making a new world, a new structure, a new way of living that will last for hundreds of years. There will many be beings from the stars who will begin to assist after 2030 in small pockets of human consciousness to bring through new technology, new ways of living, and new ideas through many of you who are direct descendants of these beings. And this will assist humanity in its growth. And this is what we see between now and 2030. We thank you for this question. We're pleased you have asked it.